Now, we spend an awful lot of time talking about the narcissist's false self, right? And this is because narcissists do operate from a false self. They don't have any real self-worth. This is why they're able to jump from relationship to relationship. Worse than that, they're able to go from being a career criminal to being the associate pastor at your local church. That's right, some of y'all probably have career criminals operating within your local church, right? Anyways, guess who else has been operating from a false self? You're not gonna like me for this. You have. I have. That's right. We were involved with narcissistically abusive people far too long, not because of our self-worth, not because we were being authentic to ourselves. No. We were involved with narcissistic family members, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, spouses far too long because we were operating out of a false self. So we're gonna change that. We're gonna talk about why we've been operating out of a false self in a different way than narcissists, and then we're gonna get to the steps we can take to find our true self-worth. My name is Kevin and this is The Royal We. Before I continue, I want to let you know that I'm here for your support. I know you're hurting and you're confused coming out of narcissistic abuse. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. In addition to that, I have a brand new life coaching program where I teach every day, Monday through Friday, with live questions, live answers. It's only $49 for an entire month. You cannot afford to miss out on it. You could start anytime. And by the way, this week, we're talking about self-worth because it's that important. This is gonna be one of the most important messages that I believe you can hear. Now, as I said, narcissists operate out of a false self, but so have you, and so have I. Now, the reasons are different. Narcissists operate out of a false self because they hate their real self. They hate the monster that they are. This is, by the way, why they rage after their mask falls. You see, they're operating based on an act of who they think you want, who they think you need, what they want you to see. It's all an act, it's their script, but then they break character. They break character when they rage, they break character when they get mad. Now you see the real them. Now they know that you see the real them and they hate the real them, so they assume you hate them too, and it's all over from there. It's downhill. Then they're just disgusted with you that you're even there. Why? Because they hate themselves, okay? Now, you don't hate yourself. I've never hated myself. You and I operate out of a false self simply because we've never learned how to have self-worth. We're afraid to know and to learn about who we really are, wondering if it's okay to be our real self, to be authentic, to be genuine, because we were never taught. How do I know this? Because of how long I stayed in the abusive environment, while siblings, people who I was trying to love, were just crapping all over me, much like you. And it's taken me years to sort this out. Why did I stay? I'll tell you this, it wasn't because I was being authentic to myself. And I know a lot of us like to say that. I'm an authentic person. I'm a genuine person. I have loved it. Listen, nobody who is genuine or authentic to themselves will stay in an abusive relationship, because no authentic and genuine person wants to be abused. Honestly, right? Who in their right mind would want to be abused by other people? Nobody. That's proof enough that you are not operating out of an authentic sense of self-worth. You, in fact, were operating out of a false self. What is this false self that you and I were operating out of? Unlike the narcissist who tries to fit in because they hate themselves, you and I have always just been operating out of trying to keep up with the rest of the world. It's not your fault, it's not my fault. We weren't taught to grow up and know thyself, right? We weren't taught to grow up and learn everything about ourselves and be comfortable in our own skin. No, we were raised and brought up to believe that we got to go to school, we got to go to church, we got to get married, family's supposed to be like this, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to work this job, on and on and on. The stuff you can hear all over YouTube, right? The narrative we've all been giving, the social programming, whatever you want to call it, it's true. We have been programmed. We are all a part of this collective, whatever you want to call it, that functions because we fill a certain role that we were told to fill. If you're not careful with this role that you're told to fill, you never learn your own self-worth. You never even learn who you are. So this is where we've been. As a result, we stay in abusive relationships, not because we want to be there, not because we like them, but because we feel we have to, because our church told us that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to forgive the narcissists. Our family members tell us that's what we're supposed to do. We work in the jobs we hate because we've been told we're supposed to. That's not operating out of self-worth. That's operating out of a false self, trying to keep up. So now how do we change it? How do we start to discover our self-worth? Well, many of us are going to be finding it for the very first time. And if you're a part of the Royal We coaching, Monday through Friday, we're all going to be learning about this together. Here's the good news. Now that you have left the abusive relationship, you're actually a step closer to finding self-worth. You see, you realize that narcissistic person, doesn't matter if it's your family members, friends, your spouse, you realize, wow, now that's not what I want. That's not me. And so now you've gone no contact. Going no contact is a step in the right direction. That's you finally stepping towards your self-worth. That's you stepping towards saying, wow, I deserve better than that. Because you do. That's you understanding that you're way outside of your authenticity. You've been putting up with all the narcissist nonsense. You're done with it, right? So that's good. That's step one. So for those of you who have left the toxic relationship, what's up, man? Huh?
I know you from YouTube.
I don't think you do. What's my name?
I forgot your name, but I know you on YouTube.
Yeah. My name's Kevin. This is the Royal We. Say hi. Say hi.
Hi. What's the WWE?
What's that?
Who's the WWE?
The wrestlers? Wow, he says I look like a wrestler. That's awesome. I wish. I'm not. I'm not. But you will one day, right? No? All right.
I will be a
bye, guys.
player.
Yeah. That was cool. And listen, that interaction is going to play a part of it. What's up, ma'am? The Royal We. That was cool, man. And I'm gonna talk about this in just a moment. So, okay, the next step is to, after you leave the narcissistic relationship, gotta back up here. After you leave the narcissistic relationship, that's step one. That's when you know that you're stepping towards self-worth, because it takes acknowledging self-worth to leave and to walk away. Step two, isolation. Isolation is key. Don't be afraid to self-isolate. Don't be afraid to shut people out of your life, right? That's the only opportunity you really have, is those moments of self-isolation where you get to hear yourself. You get to process and think, and I know you're gonna have thoughts of needing other people desperately. You gotta fight against that, because that's the old self wanting the affirmation and the opinions of others. So you can once again keep up with the rest of the world. No, no, no. Take some time, no matter how crazy you may think you're going, take the time to hear your own voice. That's step two, going towards self-worth. Step three, start to take on your passions in life. I started the Royal We 5 years ago. And let me tell you something. Just now, after 5 years, through dedication and discipline, am I now comfortable enough to be in a public place, do a message like this without stopping, and wear a t-shirt that says the Royal We all over it, because I accept it and I'm discovering my self-worth. I'm worth telling people who I am. I'm worth sharing my experiences with others. This is huge for me, because I spent years ashamed. This is why we have a hard time with our self-worth. I was ashamed of what I talked about. I was ashamed of what I was doing. I tried to hide. I'd start the camera, and if someone walked by, I'd turn it off and shut my mouth. Come on. Self-worth took dedication to get here. Another way to start to form your passions and your self-worth is to maybe start working out. This is something else I've done. I've started exercising. Why? Because I'm worth it. I'm worth it to take care of my health. Nobody else is gonna take care of my health for me. So going to the gym, which by the way, that young man asked me if I was part of the WWE. My working out is paying off, y'all. That's awesome. Yes, I'm happy. It just makes me feel good. Not because that's what I'm looking for, but because it's good to see when you do things for your self-worth. It's good to see when people are honest saying, hey, you know, and they make these comments here and there. And that's what you want. You don't want to do things in life because of other people's opinions. You want to do them because you're worth it. That's it. You're worth it. But listen, finding your self-worth is hard because it takes dedication. It takes discipline. It takes your work. It's not just going to come. Let's face it, it's a lot easier in life to live in a false self. This is why narcissists do it. They become so good at it because it's so much easier to run from relationship to relationship and try to fit in. It's even easy for you and I to live in a false self. Just go and get a job, stay with abusive people, give people chance after chance after chance. It's hard to find self-worth because it takes discipline. It takes one person, you, discipline. It takes you going against everybody who may even say they love you. Listen, being a part of the Royal We, I am. If you think for a moment there's people who know me who are excited that I do the Royal We, you're wrong. There are people who I've cared about deeply in my life who are not excited that I'm doing this, but I gotta do it anyways because I'm worth it. I'm worth pursuing what it is I'm passionate about, what it is I'm convicted to do. This is what it takes to find your self-worth. So listen, I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't wanna ramble on. What I would like to get you to do though, is if you're interested in discovering your self-worth, get down there and get registered in the Royal We coaching program. It's only $49 for an entire month, live teaching, questions and answers. This week, right now, we're doing self-worth, all right? I hope to see you there. Listen, before I sign off though, I wanna invite you to watch this video. This video right here is recommended by the YouTube algorithm, all right? I encourage you to watch it because YouTube is recommending it for you. So watch this video and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.